Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome. In today's video I will be doing an acrylic overlay on natural nails. I didn't expect to do these yesterday, Saturday, my busiest day, but my client asked me to add her daughter on to her services, which I thought was just going to be a gel polish manicure. No, baby girl wanted a acrylic. She wanted acrylic on her nails. And I told her I was going to put tips on her nails. If her mom agreed, I would do an overlay. Her mom agreed, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to record this because I was going to go on YouTube Live. I said, let me record this because I needed just a basic video. So I took advantage of the situation. Probably shouldn't have, but it worked out. It worked out. And the video turned out nice. So in the beginning of the video, you seen that I prepped her nails. I buffed her nails using just a buffing block. She's not used to getting her nails done, so she was really stiff, but I worked with her. Her hands wasn't in frame. Well, her thumb wasn't in frame for some of the video. I just went ahead and cut that out, but it's very self-explanatory, but I will be popping in and out just to explain each step. And I did label all the products that I'm using for this video. And she was my first, and I started at 8 yesterday. So the acrylic was a little bit on the runny side. I was just waiting for my sweet to warm up a bit, but it didn't. So I had to work with the acrylic how it was. And of course, they wanted to act up because I was recording too. But yeah, here I'm going in with my Gelbottle rubber base to coat her nails. And I love using this. I vouch by it. I have not had any client had any allergic reaction or anything like that. If anything, it has helped protect their nails. I had a client that was out for a while because she was sick, and those nails were on for dear life. She had a few split, and she had to cut down some, and she didn't cut the other ones down. They were hanging. And I could honestly say if that rubber base wasn't on her nail plate, she probably would have had more damage to her nails. But she's back in the chair and we'll get them together. So here I'm using my first bead, and this one gave me trouble. But all I had to do was to pat. Once I released the acrylic on her natural nails, I went ahead and dried my brush out and went back on the acrylic bead to dry the monomer, the excess monomer out of the acrylic. And that helped me to be in a little bit more control so I could form her nail. And you could see that I'm going from sidewall to sidewall, patting each time I go from sidewall to sidewall to keep the shape intact. And if I needed an extra bead, I went in with a ever so tiny bead to fill in any lumps or to seal her cuticle area. I am going in with bigger beads, but if you're a beginner watching this video, use small beads. If that's what you need to do to achieve the look that you want, go ahead and use the smallest bead possible. Make sure they're not so runny so you're able to create the free edge first before you go ahead and apply your cuticle bead. I'm also using Young Nail monomer and acrylic, and I could say with Young Nail acrylics, I have to mix it with their Speed Clear in order for them to be the right consistency that I like to work with. So for this one, I use it for all my clients. I mixed clear and their cherry blossom cover color together to give me this little natural pink look that I like. And I go in with a lot of like D&D cover colors to finish off the look anyways. I used to love working with cover color acrylics, but they just go to waste. I have tons of them. So right now I am mixing. I'm a mixologist when it comes on to my products because I have a galore of them. So if my client come in and say they want a nude, I have something to mix a nude. So that's what I've been doing, and it's been working. No allergic reaction or anything. Again, when I place my bead, I'm making sure I'm releasing it closest to the cuticle, and then I push the bead of acrylic up to the cuticle to seal it off. I'm making sure I'm wiping the sidewalls off as well and patting the acrylic down to the free edge. And once it's to where I want the length to be, I go ahead and use the belly of my brush to create the shape. I'm also using the tip of my brush to go underneath the nail where the free edge is and the length that I extended, and just swipe it. That way it's not on her skin. And once I'm ready to use the e-file to finish file her nails, I'm able to go underneath and just carve that perfect C out under her nails just to make them look really nice and natural. Here, I'm all done with the application. They turned out really nice. Her mom was really surprised that I laid her acrylic, like prep her and laid her acrylic within 25 minutes. But I was on a time crunch. So it's either I'm going to get her done within this hour so I could get you in this chair, or I'm going to stop right here because at the end of the day, I have clients that's coming in for a specific time. So yeah, I did have to push my clients back like 30 minutes, but it all worked out by the time my last client came. I got to slow down. We got to catch up and, just enjoy being their nail tech. So, yeah. So, here I am doing her left hand. I did say, you know what, let me include both clips. I did speed it up just a little bit so I could cut the time down so you guys don't get bored in between takes. I'm gonna see how this works out, but I'm gonna start just including the prep on one hand, and then I'll leave the application for the second hand in the video because I do so much tweaking to my service when it comes down to like acrylic application. I have clients with eye apex, so I tend to do a little bit more construction work. Maybe that, I don't know if that's the right term to use, but I don't just lay the acrylic. If I see that my client has eye apex and if I put the product on and it's going to look bulky, I am going to figure out a way to make them look as natural as possible. So I do a lot of construction. Yeah, I would say reconstruction when it comes on to my clients. And I ain't gonna lie, I have clients with different kind of nail beds, and I love it. I love trying to figure out what works best for each client. So yeah, you'll see that throughout this process, this journey with me, that I do a little bit more than just do nails. But yeah. Let me just tell you, baby girl wanted to see each step I was doing. She told me that she's interested in doing nails, so I told her whenever she's ready, I will be the first to give her a one-on-one. And her mom agreed. So yeah, I'll I'll, I'll record it whenever she is ready. Your mom is not ready quite yet, but she wanted to see everything. So she was looking over. I had to tell her to sit back a little bit so I could have more control over her hand. This thumb was so stiff. I had to be peeking in the corner to see if I could make sure, to see if her sidewalls were covered. It was a lot, but I had fun doing them. And she was so smiley, like her cheeks were so rosy throughout the entire process. And then once her nails got done, she just kept on looking. She kept on looking. Her mom just kept on smiling. So I'm glad I was able to make her day, and she didn't get up as early as she did to come to her mom appointment for nothing. Now that I'm done with the application, I will be going into finish file and seal her cuticles and make sure her free edge is nice and clean and no acrylic is touching her skin, because I did overlay these freehand. I like to go underneath and just use my finger to press the acrylic, separate the acrylic from her skin if it is touching, or if it's tight, just to loosen it. That way I'm able to use the bit to go underneath and clean it up, if the product is touching her skin. I did have to use my e-file at a lower RPM because baby girl is not used to getting her nails done, and she was curious. She wanted to see, so her body wasn't relaxed. She kept on looking over. Her hands were a little stiff. I had to tap her a few times just to tell her to relax a little bit so I had more control over her hand. But yeah, I got through it with no hiccups. I can honestly say, with being a nail tech for so long, I could feel when my hands are getting stiff, my fingers were tingling, and that's just from the clients being so tense. So I had surgery in January. So now I'm even more mindful. Hey, relax. Let me have control here, because I don't want to, come leave or retire with growing pains because I wasn't telling my clients what I needed from them during their services. But yeah, she worked with me and she got comfortable by the time I got to her next hand. So always work from the free edge of the nail and work your way up. Then go ahead and make that perfect C. Start out from the sidewall to the cuticle, seal the cuticle, and then back to the sidewall. And it is absolutely okay to file underneath your client's nails, especially when it's natural nail. File it out, because natural nails will curve once it soaks up oil, water, bleach, any chemical they use on a regular basis will strip the product. So you filing a natural nail from underneath the nail right at the free edge helps your nails to last longer. So yeah, and it helps to prevent allergic reaction. So if you're doing an overlay and you're doing it freehand with no forms, going ahead, clean up underneath the natural nails, create the shape and the right curvature that you want. And, it makes the nails look natural, even more natural. And if you want to go ahead and do so after you apply your gel polish or your design or your top coat, go ahead and do it, because those products swell up once they go into light. They absolutely do. And this is why I finish file after any application. It could even be just a regular color like this, and I'm just putting a top coat over it. I finish file to get my shape back nice and crispy. And I wanted to add, I know a lot of us want the perfect square nail, but if the client nail is a little wider than everybody else that you service, do not overfile the sidewalls. It does not look right. The nail will grow back to its original shape that it was before, and the product will lift. It will lift. The natural nails from the sidewall will be exposed, and that could cause greenie. So do not overfile the nails to make them look slimmer. If anything, make sure you don't have excess product on the nail. So yeah, that's just a little tip that I want to put out there. I've seen it a time and time again. You know, just looking at the nail from a distance, I could see that the nail was overfiled, but it is okay to give your clients what they ask for, but please let them know that this is what you could do for them. And if you can't get it any smaller than what is provided, let them know that you don't recommend it and you don't feel comfortable doing it. So yeah, just to be safe. Here I'm going with my 240 nail file to make sure I don't have any ridges in the nail. I'm making sure the sidewalls are nice and sealed. I'm making sure to do it ever so carefully so I don't cut her. And I made sure to zoom it up a little bit so you could see how I finish file my client's nails. I know it looks like I'm going a little bit faster, but I promise you I'm doing it ever so gently, and I'm making my way around the cuticle to the sidewalls to make sure everything is nice and even. And I'm looking down the barrel of the nail, the side of the nail, top of the nail, underneath the nail, just to make sure there's no lumps and bumps. But we're almost at the end of the video, and I just wanted to add that, let you guys know that I will just be doing a simple French tip on her. I went in with D&D aqua pink, just one thin coat, and then I went in with white on the tip of her nails and to finish it off, and we love them. I didn't get to take a picture because her mom was next and I was on crunch time, so I did just have like a video of how her nails turned out in the end. If you guys enjoy this video, please to leave me a like, comment, subscribe. Engage with me in the chat, guys, in the comment section. Ask as many questions you may have. I will answer them for you. And again, to everyone that has joined my live in the past week and a half, thank you so much for joining me on this journey. Thank you so much for subscribing, engaging with me on my lives. It was nerve wracking in the beginning. And I want to say the more I mess up on the lives is the more I think about what client to put on the live to go live with. But I feel like you guys seen the uncut version of everything that a nail tech goes through day to day is the best version that anyone would want to see. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, please leave them in the comment section and I'll be sure to reply. Again, thank you guys for subscribing and thanks for watching. I will see you in my next one.